Welcome, everyone. My name is Ricardo Camacho, Director of Regulatory Safety and Security Compliance, and thank you for joining us today on Get Complete MISRA C 2023 support in new Parasoft C++ test release. I'm here with Miroslav Zielinski, Director of Product Management for C++ test. How about giving us a hi, Mirek?
Hello, everybody.
Well said. Thanks, Mirek. We are both very excited to be bringing you the key highlights on yet another fantastic C++ test release. It's going to be a very informative presentation, so let's start by taking a look at the agenda. Many of you may already be aware of the latest MISRA C 2023 release that occurred in April, which is a compilation of MISRA C 2012 and all of its amendments. Amendment 4 was announced in March, so hot off the press and worth covering lightly. I'll also like to say that we are very proud to announce that we support 100% of MISRA C 2023 with this new release of C++ test. Anyways, continuing with the agenda, we have also added various enhancements and capabilities that significantly contribute to productivity, such as performance improvements in static analysis, enhanced HIS metrics, our enhanced extension to VSCode, and enhancements in our Bazel integration. And as we always do for each release, we continue to add support for new compilers. I'll then pass it over to Mirek, where he will give us a demonstration of applying MISRA C 2023 on C++ test. Then afterwards, we will open things up for live Q&A. Okay, before we get started, I'm going to go through some housekeeping. As you may be aware, everybody's microphone has been muted. However, if you have questions, please enter them into the question dialog box at any time. Although we are having a live Q&A at the end, feel free to enter your questions beforehand. Also, this presentation is being recorded and will be made available, typically within 4 to 8 hours after the presentation has concluded. All right, let's get started. So first of all, Parasoft C++ Test 2023.1 offers complete support for MISRA C 2023. The publication, which was introduced in April, does not include any new coding guidelines, but instead it's a consolidation of MISRA C 2012 and all of its amendments and core agenda. The MISRA C standard is the best coding standard for the C programming language, and I personally like that it now sounds modern and leaves behind the flashback of being in a bunker waiting for the world to come to an end. Remember 2012? Anyways, the long wait is over, and my anticipation has shifted to the strong possibility of the MISRA organization releasing MISRA C++ 2023. But that's a topic for another day. The best news is that embedded industries and software teams developing in C11 and C11 versions of the C language have an updated C coding standard that continues to target safety and security vulnerabilities in the C programming language. Again, Parasoft leads the industry with our 100% complete support for MISRA C 2023. We are very proud to have it integrated so quickly into our C++ test product and have it available to the software industry. Now, since Amendment 4 was released in March and fairly new to most, it's worth covering the focus of this amendment and because it's part of the MISRA C 2023. Amendment 4 focuses on multi-threading and the use of atomic functions, particularly the C11 built-in support for threads, atomic operations, mutual exclusion, condition variables, and thread-specific storages that are defined in the threads.h library. For the novice, multi-threading is the ability of a central processing unit to provide multiple concurrent threads of execution. 3 new directives on concurrency considerations were created. One of those directives, or Directive 5.1 to be specific, it states that there shall be no data races between threads. Therefore, threads must be protected by a synchronization mechanism. It's common to use a mutex or semaphore to prevent data race conditions, like a read and write access on the same data at the same time. Additional rules have been created to ensure that the use of threads defined in C11 are safe, as well as the synchronization The conditions and thread local storage behaviors are predictable. I want to take the opportunity to quickly put C++ test and its support of MISRA in scope. We have evolved over the years and have such a powerful compliance framework. Not only do we fully support the MISRA rules, but it's also configurable. Users can enable or disable rules, define their own configurations, and even create their own rules. Also, we generate all of the required reports needed to show compliance as defined by the standard. And our DTP dashboard reporting and analytics solution shows how your team is progressing towards compliance and much more. Additionally, both C++ Test and DTP are TÜV SÜD certified, fulfilling requirements for functional safety standards like ISO 26262, IEC 62304, IEC 61508, and EN 50128. Certification for DO 178 is also supported, but there is a different process for which we have a tool qualification kit. My point here is that Parasoft has a complete and solid solution. Another significant enhancement is our improved performance on static flow analysis. Based on code complexity, users can experience up to 25% faster code analysis runtime. This is quite a substantial productivity contribution. On top of that, we have enhanced our C++ parser to improve support for C++ 17 and C++ 20. We are obviously preparing to provide you with the best support for up-and-coming C++ coding standards like MISRA C++. Just as best practice, I decided to recommend static analysis. I find it surprising that some organizations still have not adopted static analysis. You have probably heard many times of the term shift left to find defects earlier when they are cheaper to fix. And yes, the cost increases as you move through each of the development phases. Because at the next development phase, more people have to be involved in fixing the defect. So more effort, more time, scheduled delays may take place, documentation may need to be updated, software patches may be required, and the list continues to grow. And if the product happens to go out with a severe defect, then you may have recalls, lawsuits. Basically, the cost can be astronomical. In one of my previous positions, I was a project manager responsible for delivering software testing services. Unit testing the software was always the primary request, never static analysis. On one engagement, after 4 months of unit testing with a team of 6, I decided to run the MISRA C standard on the code. And in a matter of 2 hours, I found approximately 85% of the same defects we had discovered doing unit testing. Imagine that, 2 hours. Additionally, the static analysis also found other defects that were missed during unit testing. So my experience and message here is that if you're not applying static analysis from the get-go, your cost of testing is not being mitigated. Adopting static analysis is so easy to do, especially using C++ test because we plug right into your IDE or into your build process. It's easy. The Hersteller Initiative Software metrics, or HIS metrics, are a nice general set of code quality and complexity metrics. These metrics are used within the automotive industry. In fact, the committee that created these metrics is made up of German publicly traded companies like Audi, BMW, Daimler, now Mercedes, Porsche, and Volkswagen. Anyway, most of the metrics can be verified through static analysis, so C++ Test 2023.1 now has complete support for the HIS metrics that are enforceable by way of static analysis. There are a few metrics like number of code statements added, deleted, or changed, and differences between code versions. Gathering these types of metrics involves your source control tool, not static analysis. But we can support these types of metrics through scripting if needed. The table on the right shows the static analysis set of HIS metrics that we can verify. These metrics are used within the automotive industry, and many of these metrics are required by the functional safety standard ISO 26262 in automotive. Check out section 6 of the standard. These HIS metric guidelines provide such a good general set of code quality and complexity metrics that they have been adopted by other embedded industries like medical, aerospace, and others. HIS has also been adopted by organizations in enterprise software development. due to the need for enforcing reliable code or quality code with low complexity. Many of you in this call are using our C++ test static analysis extension for VSCode. The popularity of the Visual Studio Code Editor continues to grow at a rapid pace. VSCode is fast, simple, customizable, extensible, and runs on the three leading development platforms, Windows, Linux, and Mac. With the C++ text extension, our customers have been able to perform static analysis using MISRA, CERT, AutoSAR, C++, and more right within the editor. So you can review the identified violations and fix or suppress them all inside VS Code. Now this new release incorporates code coverage by way of bringing in coverage results from the CI/CD pipeline or importing the coverage results from a local file into VS Code Editor. To put this in context, we have many customers that within their CI workflow or pipeline have integrated Parasoft's code coverage. This is one of perhaps several CI quality gates in place. If the quality criteria are not met, the code is not moved forward. Therefore, users can now bring in the code coverage results right into VS Code and easily determine, view, and analyze the gaps in their code coverage efforts. This enables faster reactions to failed pipelines with code coverage quality gates in place. In this slide, I've placed a QR code to the Visual Studio Marketplace where you will find the Parasoft C++ test extension for VS Code and all the instructions needed to get started. As a techie, I find this really cool, so enjoy. In this release of C++ test also comes with a Bazel integration package for static analysis. Bazel is an open source build tool developed by Google to automate build processes for any size project, but it's particularly used for very large scale complex software projects. Therefore, the Bazel integration package comes with a collection of scripts and instructions on integrating C++ test static analysis within Bazel builds, for the purpose of simplifying and streamlining the whole process. It's important to acknowledge that Bazel is a very powerful tool, but also a very complex build system, especially to integrate third-party tools. So we made it an effort to simplify the integration process, differentiating ourselves from other vendors. In addition, and as a sneak peek, we included a similar integration package for code coverage. Now this code coverage package, though available, is being offered as a trial. This is because things get even more complex when integrating dynamic analysis methods like code coverage into the build. Our goal here is to simplify, reduce effort, expedite, and provide superior support for Bazel integrations for our customers. So we will continue to improve on these packages as we move forward with new C++ test product releases. Out there is a plethora of compilers that our customers use, and compilers evolve, so you have multiple versions and some of them become too certified. Also, our customers switch compilers, therefore Parasoft is constantly adding new compiler support virtually in every release that we deliver. So we have added a collection of GCC compiler versions, Wind River for Clang compiler for ARM, and the Hexagon compiler, which is specific to Qualcomm. For the full list of compilers, visit our website, C++ Test product page. You will find a technical specifications link that will take you to all of that information. Okay, let's get to the demo. Handing it off to you, Merrick.
Thank you, Ricardo. So, before we see the demo, let's think for a moment what are the essential requirements for the MISRA compliance tool. If we want to enforce compliance with MISRA, the first thing is that tool should provide 100% coverage for the standard. If we also need to comply with functional safety standards such as ISO 26262, we must qualify the tool. TÜV certification, if available for the tool, highly simplifies this process. And finally, a very important aspect is the close integrations with the modern development workflows. Most of the teams these days use some kind of CI platform. And teams don't want to change their workflows. They expect that tool will seamlessly plug into their system. And this is why it's so important that static analysis tool can be easily integrated into the modern development workflows and platforms. In our demonstration, we will see how you can add MISRA C 2023 compliance to your CI-based development process. We will see a simple scenario with the developer working on a new code in a feature branch. For the demonstration, we will use a Linux workstation with VSCode and Parasoft C++ test and GitHub with workflow that includes MISRA C 2023 quality gate. During the demonstration, we'll go through the following steps: creating some new code in the feature branch, running a quick pre-commit static analysis session focused on the most obvious problems, creating a pull request in GitHub which will trigger a pipeline with MISRA quality gate, and updating the code to meet the pull request quality gate requirements. So let's switch to my development workstation. I'm using VSCode and I already have a local clone of my GitHub repository here. My project requires MISRA C compliance. I'm working on a feature branch trying to implement new functionality for my system. One of my tasks is to make my so far single-threaded system multi-threaded. And I'm thrilled that with Amendment 4 I now have coding guidelines that will help me to make my project multi-threaded. My compliance process includes two steps: quick local scans with limited selection of MISRA checkers focus on the most critical problems, and complete enforcement of the MISRA C 2023 guidelines integrated with the GitHub pull request workflow. I have dedicated configurations for both steps. So let me now pretend I'm doing something useful and I will add new code to my feature branch. Let's say I need to implement new code which will handle periodic reading and calibration from my temperature sensors. To make our demo swifter, I've already implemented those changes. So let me uncomment relevant sections. I've implemented required functionality in two files. So let me uncomment it here. And now I'm ready with my new code. Before I commit, I will run a quick local scan for MISRA compliance. Now, Parasoft C++ test analyzes my code with a subset of MISRA C 2023 guidelines optimized for fast feedback. And in a few seconds, we will have results. Clearly, my new code is not MISRA compliant. We have 4 problems reported for our new code. All of them are violations of new MISRA rule 12.6. The rule that was introduced with MISRA C 2012 Amendment 4, that is now MISRA C 2023. We can check the rule documentation if we need more information to understand problem better. And looking into the code, the way our new function tries to update the atomic global variable is definitely incorrect. In the rule documentation, we can find a thorough description and examples showing incorrect and corrected code. Alright, let's fix the problem. We will need to slightly modify the function. And now we're ready to push our changes to GitHub. And obviously we're interested in merging our new code changes with the main branch. So let's go to GitHub and create a pull request. Our pull request triggered the pipeline with C++ test MISRA C 2023 quality gate. In our local scans, only the most important rules are included to assure minimal delays. In pull requests, we are enforcing compliance with all the MISRA rules. So let's give it a second to finish, and our pipeline is done. We can clearly see that we are not yet ready to merge our code because additional violations were found. Let's drill down for details. C++ test static analysis results are integrated with GitHub's pull requests. Here we can see one additional finding reported. We can click here to investigate the problem. The additional issue that was caught in the pipeline is related to deadlocks, and this is a violation of MISRA C Directive 5.2, which says that there shall be no deadlocks between threads. That's another example of the guideline that was introduced with Amendment 4. And if we take a closer look, we have two threads, one responsible for the periodic calibration of our sensors and one for reading the measures. And the way we acquire logs leads to deadlock. So this is really a severe problem that can potentially completely block our system and cause safety-related consequences. Since we have multiple files involved in the problem, for fixing it, it will be more convenient to download pipeline results to my VSCode. Now I locally have everything I need to fix the problem. So let me quickly get the code right, and I'm ready to push my code. Push operation will trigger the pipeline again with the MISRA quality gate. We are expecting a clear run now since we fixed the only problem. And indeed, our quality gate is now opened and we are free to merge our new code. And this concludes our demonstration. Ricardo, passing to you for a quick summary.
Thank you, Mirek. That was a great demonstration. To recap, we got a view of the MISRA C 2023 standard in action. The fact is that not only can you integrate our static analysis engine solution into your developer's code editor like VSCode or other IDEs, but as Mirek demonstrated, it can seamlessly be integrated into your build process or modern development workflow using GitHub. And just FYI, integrations with GitLab, Azure DevOps, and Bazel also exist. And our customers or prospects can take immediate benefit of the updates of MISRA C 2012 Amendment 4 or now MISRA C 2023 in our C++ test 2023.1 release. There's one more bit of information that I'd like to convey. Parasoft is committed to offering our customers the best in software test automation in a continuous integration and continuous delivery workflow. Parasoft offers a tool suite set of solutions that supports your DevOps CI/CD development ecosystem for embedded and enterprise applications. So besides testing safety and security critical applications, we also offer API security testing, service virtualizations, even web UI testing, and more. We also support other coding languages like Java, C#, VB.NET, which you can also perform static analysis, unit testing, code coverage, and more in these other languages. Now, if you are a prospect and want to learn more about C++ test, please request a custom in-depth demo. I've placed a QR code for you to follow or visit our website. You will find a button in the C++ test product page. And for any customers that want to download our latest 2023.1 release of C++ test, please visit the Parasoft customer portal. If you have any questions after the webinar, please send us an email at info@parasoft.com. Also, you can find us and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and LinkedIn. Okay, I'm now going to open things up for Q&A. Please use the questions dialog box if you want to ask any questions. Just a few here. One of them is there a new license required for the MISRA C 2023? No. All the new rules from Amendment 4 and the use of MISRA C 2023 are available as an update to our existing MISRA rules, so there's no license required. Next question. Your new release supports GCC 12. When do you plan to support GCC 13? Yeah, good question. GCC 13 is planned for our next release, which is in the fourth quarter of this year. See, are improvements in static analysis performance expected for C and C++ code? Yes, so the performance improvements that we've made affect or enhance both C and C++, so it applies to both languages. See, one more question. What is required to download coverage reports from the CI pipeline to VSCode? So you need to install our latest C++ test, the VSCode extension, already available in the marketplace. And you need to have a C++ test coverage integrated with our pipeline or with your pipeline. And also in your pipeline, you need to make sure to include a step that archives reports. So if you also, when you go to the marketplace for VSCode, there's a set of instructions that you will find and a set of steps. So everything there is available for you. Is the Visual Studio Code plugin included free with the new release? Yes, you can go to the marketplace. It's free and you can download it. So no problems. And I think, yeah, I gave a QR code earlier in one of my slides on how to find that. But if you go to the Microsoft Visual Studio Marketplace, do a search for C++ test, and it'll take you right to that extension, the VSCode extension. I don't see any more questions. So thank you, folks, for attending, and please visit our website. We always have lots of interesting webinars that we provide each month. In fact, several webinars on various topics, and I welcome you to come. And we also have lots of content and material, very technical as well, if you're looking for information regarding safety, security, compliance, and lots of other stuff. All right, well, thank you. That concludes our webinar, and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.